Hello, dear friends. Myself, Dr. K.N. Gaikwad, Department of Botany, KTHM College, Nasik. Title of our paper is Taxonomy of Angiosperm and Plant Ecology. Paper first. Last time we have seen species diversity, genetic diversity. Our today's chapter is nothing but the ecological grouping of plants. Under that topic is study of hydrophytes. The surrounding or the environment in which the organisms lives is called as the habitat of a particular organism. The plants and animals usually grow and occurs in groups. The groups of plants and animals which grow under the same set of environmental factor is called ecological groups. There is an interrelationship between an organism and its typical environment. This correlation leads to some changes in the morphology, behavior, anatomy, and physiology of organisms. Such modified characters of an organism that enable it to tolerate adverse environmental conditions and utilize them to its maximum advantage are known as adaptations. You know that water is universal solvent in which almost all minerals are soluble. It is the basic component for photosynthesis and for the maintenance of cell turgidity. It plays an important role in fertilization, pollination, dissemination, etc. Deficiency as well as excess of water leads to many physiological effects or changes in plants. In order to adapt with the water conditions, plant develop some characteristic feature. Water relation of plant bring about many physiological responses in them by affecting seed germination, water and mineral uptake, transpiration, photosynthesis, growth, respiration, translocation, and many biochemical processes. In 1895, Warming classified the plants into ecological groups on the basis of type of substratum, either in water, on water, land, desert, etc. and adapting factors on the soil. There are four major groups are there: ecological groups of the plant, hydrophytes, xerophytes, epiphytes, and halophytes. Hydros means water, phyton means the plant. The plants which are grow in abundance of water are called hydrophytes. Xeros means desert. Where rainfall is very less, at that condition the plants are grow and shows some adaptations. They are called xerophytes. Commonly they are grow in scarcity of water. Epiphytes, that means the plants which are grow on other plants. Then halophytes, the plants which are grow in salty condition. And fifth one is this nothing but the mesophytes. Mesophytes are nothing but the plants which are grow in moderate supply of water. Our common plants are nothing but the mesophytes. Today we are going to learn what are the morphological and anatomical adaptations which are found in hydrophytes. I told you that hydros means water and phyton means the plants. The plants which are grow in abundance of the water is called hydrophytes. They are commonly called aquatic plants. Now let us see what are the features. Hydrophytes are grow in water or in soil which is saturated with water. Water may be fresh or saline. lakes, ponds, pools, rivers, etc. constitute freshwater bodies. Phytoplankton. Non-vascular hydrophytes. Vascular hydrophytes may arrange into three natural groups. These are rooted and submerged plants. Again, they are classified into subtypes: anchored or rooted hydrophytes, completely submerged in water, whole body is present in the water, restricted to shallow area where they get adequate supply of light. There are two types of the hydrophytes: plants with long stem. Now see in this diagram, for example, but they bear the small leaves at the nodes. The best example is nothing but the hydrilla. Hydrilla is submerged plant. Completely plant body is present under the surface of water level. Another example, Ceratophyllum. Their stems are long, elongated in water bodies, and leaves are very small in size. Ceratophyllum. Another examples are nothing Potamogeton. These are the diagrams. Plants with tuberous stem. Now they bear caudine leaves. The leaves are thin and ribbon shaped. Example is Vallisneria. Now such long elongated leaves are there. They are completely submerged and the stem is tuberous. Example Vallisneria. And Nymphia. Nymphia is floating hydrophyte. Leaves are float on the surface of the water. And reproductive body, that is the flowers, are developed on the surface, above the surface of water. Example Nymphia means lotus. Then floating plant. They float freely on the surface of water. They remain in contact with water and air only. Roots are not required for survival and thus no connection exists with the soil. In some plants, leaves are very small, while in some other plants, the leaves are quite large. Example, Ecornia. Now this picture is nothing but the Ecornia plant. Leaves are large in size, correct, contain air cavities. That air cavities gives buoyancy to the plant. That's why they can easily float on the surface of the water, and mostly they are grow in large number. Large leaves are nothing but water hyacinth. That means Ecornia plant. Some smaller forms are hydrophytes are nothing but belong to the pteridophytes. That is Salvinia, Pistia, and Azula. Both all plants are belong to pteridophytes, but they are free floating. Roots are not go up to the soil level, substratum, and leaves become freely swim in the water. The reproduction is very fast. That means they are living in grouping. Plants like Utriculata normally remain just below the water surface and are rootless. This is the diagram. Now another group of the hydrophyte floating but rooted forms. That means their root system become touched to the substratum or mud or soil. Rooted in mud, possesses floating leaves, grow in shallow regions. Example, lotus, Lilium or water lily. These plants mostly grow in shallow water. Their roots are fixed in the underwater soil. Leaves are having long elongated petioles are there and help the plant to float on the surface of the water. The leaves floats on the surface and capture sunlight to perform photosynthesis. The entire plant except leaves remain underwater. Example, water lily, Nymphia, Trapha, they are nothing but the examples of free-floating rooted plants. Another example, Victoria regia. This is diagram of this one. Another group is nothing but the marginal or amphibious hydrophytes. These plants are grow in shallow water, form the marshy or shallow vegetation. They require excess water and their root shoots are exposed to the air. Roots are completely underwater and anchored to the soil. Example, Sagittaria ranunculus shoots are partly in water and partly emerges above the water surface. Based another examples are going to be Typha angustata, Sagittaria, and Hydrophylla. They show the running stems are there, long elongated petiole, and flowers are there. Now let us see what is the effect of more water or abundance water in hydrophytes. In submerged plant, morphological adaptations are nothing but the roots are reduced in size, unbranched and without root hairs. Stem is thin and delicate due to the lack of mechanical tissue. Leaves are reduced in size and are thin, linear, or ribbon-like to escape the effect of strong water current. Now this is diagram of hydrilla. Hydrilla is submerged hydrophyte. They show the small leaves. Nodes and internodes are there. Roots are tuberous and fix the plant to the substratum or in mud. This is the tuber formation takes place here. And these root hairs are become fixed the plant body in the substratum of water bodies. Now let us see anatomical features of the plant body. They lack cuticle or suberin because there is no problem of transpiration. That's why there is no requirement of cuticle. Cuticle is very common in mesophytes and xerophytes. Conducting elements are very few and non-lignified. Conducting elements are nothing but the xylem and the phloem. That's why they are poorly developed. Large number of air cavities for gas exchange and storage are present in the body. Mesophyll is differentiated into palisade and spongy tissue. It is mostly a spongy tissue. Mesophyll cells are, palisade tissues are, in some plants are absent. Chloroplasts are present in the epidermal cells. Now see, this is the diagram of TS of submerged hydrophyte, that is a hydrilla. Now here, cuticle, this is the epidermis, cuticle is totally absent. Epidermis is single layer, thin wall and parenchymatous. In certain hydrophyte, epidermal cells of the same contain chloroplast. In this plant also there is presence of chloroplast. The cortex is well developed. It is 2 to 3 layers in thickness. Hypodermis is completely absent in submerged form. The cortex is well developed and they show the air cavities. That's why they are called aerenchyma. That means air cavities are present to give the buoyancy to the plant body. That's why these such plants are easily swim in the water or protect the plant from water currents. Endodermis is distinct here. This is the endodermis and they are the vascular tissues. Conducting tissues are there. They are also poorly developed. This is the xylem at the center and pith is present which is empty at the center and xylem is surrounded by the phloem. That means absence of cuticle, poorly development of the conducting cells, that is xylem and phloem, absence of mechanical tissue, absence of stomata are nothing but the hydrophytic adaptations in hydrophytes. Now let us see second part, type of the free floating. These plants are free floating on the surface of water. They remain in contact with water and air only. Roots are not required for survival and thus no connection exists with the soil. The leaves are very small in size. Root hairs are absent. Special structures known as root pockets are present on the root hairs. And this is diagram of azolla plant with extremely reduced roots are there. The size of the plants are very small. Roots are absent in Olfia, Utricularia, Ceratophyllum, etc. Stem is extremely reduced, but leaves are quite well developed. Now, water hyacinth, that is Ecornia plant is there with small roots but well developed leaves are there. This is the petiole, which is spongy and contain more and more air cavities, and there are the free floating leaves are there. Root hairs are present, and at the tip of root hairs you will get the root pockets are there. It is very common in Godavari river. Now let us see what is the anatomical adaptations of the hydrophytes. Well developed air cavities are present in stem, leaves, root and the petioles. Parenchyma and sclerenchyma are completely absent. Both tissues are mechanical tissues, and there is no requirement of such type of tissues in hydrophytes because they are living in water. Vascular tissue, that is the xylem and phloem, are very poorly developed because there is no problem of conduction of the water. Stomata are present at the upper surface of the leaves. That means this such type of stomata are present on the free floating plants. Palisade parenchyma is developed toward the upper surface. Floating but rooted plants. Some plants are float the leaves and floating bodies, that is the flowers, on the surface of the water, but the stem shows elongated and become touch or fix the plant body to the roots. This such type of the plants are called floating but rooted plant. These plants are grow in shallow water. Their roots are fixed in the underwater soil. Leaves are long petioles and help the plant to float on the surface of water. Leaves floats on the surface of and capture sunlight to perform photosynthesis. Now adaptations are nothing but the poorly developed roots. Roots are produced from horizontal stem, rootstock or tubers. Elongated and well developed petioles are there. Now see this plant. It is one of the free floating hydrophyte and they show the long elongated petioles are there. And such type the petioles contain the large air cavities. Leaves are very large in size and floats the surface on the surface of the water and capture the sunlight for the photosynthesis. Another one, anatomical adaptations in such plant. Well developed air cavities are present in petioles. Leaves are covered with wax to protect the leaves from decomposition in water. Stomata are present on the upper surface of the leaves. Palisade parenchyma is well developed, but the spongy parenchyma is in for excess. Large number of spongy parenchyma are developed in the leaves and stem. The latter enclose large air cavities. That large air cavities gives buoyancy to float on the or in the surface of the water. Another group of the hydrophyte are nothing but the marginal or amphibious. These plants are grow in shallow water. They require excess water and their shoots are exposed to air. Roots are completely under the surface of water and anchored to the soil. For example, Sagittaria and Ranunculus. In this plant, shoots are partly in water and partly immersed above the water surface. In such plant, well-developed root systems are there. Plants have rhizomes which lie in the mud and may show hydric and gerid adaptation. Heterophyly, presence of more than one type of leaves is exhibited. Some leaves are small, some leaves are large. This condition is called heterophilous condition. Submerged leaves are normally dissected and the lobes are linear and thin. These are the morphological adaptation in amphibious plant. Anatomical adaptation in amphibious plants are nothing but the erenchyma and storage parenchyma are present. Erenchyma means parenchyma but containing the air cavities, they are called erenchyma. And some parenchyma become store the food material. Mechanical and conducting elements are present but poorly developed. Thick wall endodermis to check loss of water. Large air cavities or air chambers are present which are separated by diaphragms. Thank you.